I'm so excited because I'm here with Linda Avery Eaton, also known as L.A. Eaton, author of the Buoy Adventure series, and Buoy Adrift at Sea has just been released, and it's on Amazon as we speak. And I'm here live with Linda. I'm so excited. Linda, welcome. Are you excited about this book coming out? I mean,
I'm
it seems
very
like it was taking
excited.
forever.
It's been a long process. It's nice to know that that's on the other side, and I can and see the copies in people's hands. That's exciting for me.
That's so awesome. I love that this is a children's book. That's near and dear to my heart as being a third grade teacher for over 20 years and then working in elementary school. But you have that's close to your heart too because you were in a similar field because of homeschool and doing things with other groups of people that are educating their kids. So I think this is a natural progression of Bowie, and I believe that there's a lesson in all of your books. So tell us a little bit about the book and what you're hoping the reader gets across.
A little bit about the book. I wasn't expecting to write this book. I never even thought about writing about an inanimate object as a character. But we were out on the boat one day and I saw this buoy drifting by with the bird sitting on it. And I went, well, that's kind of strange. I wonder where it came from. Boy, if that buoy could talk, I'm sure it'd have stories. And all of a sudden, as soon as I heard it would have stories, I went, oh, it's got a story. So I started thinking about what would happen. My story process for children's book is to think about, the beginning, where I want it to go, and then kind of fill in the rest. And it's all in my head. I don't have any outline that I write down. But when I finally figured out what I thought I wanted to happen, I wrote it down, and I found out that little Bowie needed to have hope.
I love
Because,
that.
it started out with a storm, and he's thrown overboard, and he's lost. And he's waiting to be found. He wants his purpose again. He wants to feel safe and secure, and he just doesn't know what's going to end up happening. So he has this mantra, I must not give up hope. I must not give up
I
hope.
love that. I love that.
And he's eventually found by a little boy who they've been looking for a buoy to make into a swing. And when he finds the buoy and he yells to his dad, will this one work? And his dad yells, yeah, it will. He hugs it and says, we found you. And so Bowie gets a whole different purpose in life than what he had, but he's still feeling loved. He still has a purpose. Um, and he's can find joy in where he is at the moment. But that
Wow.
time in between, when we're being tossed around by the waves, it's hard.
Yeah.
And that's the message I wanted to get across is, don't give up hope. Even when you're riding out the waves and you can't do anything, God will take you where he wants you to be. He's not done with you yet. And he has a plan and a purpose. And that was
Yeah.
the core message I wanted in this is to instill in the kids. It's just has one Bible verse at the end. Um, so it's just a story of him having hope, but I'm hoping that the kids will kind of like the little engine that could, I think I can, I think I can.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the kids will go, I just need to have hope. I can't give up hope. I can't give up. So that's my desire with this book is that it will start getting kids thinking about hope, maybe getting conversations going, and being able to introduce who the author of hope is at some point as well.
Mm.
So they know they're not just hoping on themselves or they're not just hoping, in a change of
Yeah.
weather or whatever else, that their hope is secure in him.
I love it because there's such a depth in the story. It seems like such a simple story, but you can apply it. Like as you're saying this, I'm thinking of my own life, adult, going through storms, and life's going to look different, but in some ways it'll be better, but it will always be filled with hope and love and
Mhm.
purpose. And I love that because it has all this depth to it. This is a book that you could read it over and over again and find something new to cling on to. And that's what I think I love so much about this book. And I love the fact that you have incorporated some very genuine Alaskan, and especially because you live on Kodiak, elements in this book that make it unique and something even to be valued by Alaskans because it's speaking right into them. What are one or two elements that you have in the book that an Alaskan will go, "Oh, I know what she's talking about."
One would be of course, the buoys swing. Discarded buoys. Buoys are actually found on shore on occasion. We go treasure hunting. We take the boat to different beaches and then you walk along the beach to find your treasures. And you often find buoys. Buoys do end up as a lot of different things, but a buoy swing is the type of swing they have up here. You don't see the regular, oak tree swing with it straight and with the little wooden platform like you might see in the Midwest. They have buoy swings
Yeah.
attached to the spruce trees up here. So I know that everybody up here, if they've not been on one, which most people, if they've grown up here near the coastal area, have,
I love that.
they will recognize at least the buoy and understand a little bit about that. The
I
other would
love
be
it.
the animals. There's a lot of ocean animals. They see buoy sees orca whales, sea otters, even some of the land animals he sees, he comes in contact with the black-tailed deer. So it's just a fun that way because the kids will be able to relate to some of those animals as well.
Yeah, I love that. Now, did you always want to be an author? I mean, did you always want to write children's books?
It's interesting that one of the first things I wanted to be, I think, that I can remember was a singer. That proved to be, I realized quite quickly people wouldn't want to pay to see that. So the other thing was I wanted to be a mother, and I think that's where my teaching
Hmm.
came. When I went to pick a profession, I knew I wanted to work with kids, and so I ended up getting
Hmm.
a teaching degree. Um, I can't say that I've always wanted to be an author, but I've always enjoyed stories. I remember in
Hmm.
sixth grade winning the young authors competition at our school and how cool that was,
Really?
being able to meet a real author. Couldn't tell you her name, so it wasn't anyone that, I recognized as far as an author, but to be there and listen to her talk must have made an impression on me because writing stories kind of have always stuck with me. It wasn't until I moved to Alaska that I found it kind of as I can remember saying I would like to write a book. That's the first time I remember saying I would like to write a book. And it was the mountains. I came from flat farm country. So I'm where there's mountains and ocean and smells and just
Wow.
majestic. You're in a kayak and you're on the water, on the ocean, and the big cliffs are towering beside you. And it's just like it made me want to write. And it was funny because the first thing that I thought I'd want to write is a devotion. And one of the few things I have not tried yet is writing a devotional. But I have written several kids' stories and working on some novels and different things. And for a while, when I first started writing, it was kind of a means of an escape. I've always journaled,
Hmm.
and I've always had pen pals and I've written that way, but taking it to the story level was something I actually wrote the first one that I can remember when I was weathered in. I came over to Kodiak, the village where I lived, and we tried to get back to the village, and the plane just circled and came back to Kodiak. And so I was staying at a friend's house, didn't have anything there, so I sat down and wrote a story. And ever since then, I've been writing when I can.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, I know you mentioned a little bit earlier that you don't really plot. You're not a plotter where you're not coming up with an organized, outline and all these things. You're more of a pantser. The idea comes to you. But what's your favorite part of writing? When you are writing, what's the part that gives you the most excitement?
I really like the characters. Now that I said that, it popped in my head. A lot of them are like me or based off me. So I guess I can relate to them well, but it's fun
Yes.
to develop them
Mm.
and kind of see where they're going to flesh them out per se, because each character has to be different, but yet interact with each other, which I think is a lot of fun. And because I am a pantser, it's like characters come up that you don't expect. It's like I can remember in one of the juvenile novels I'm writing, it's mostly teens, and I thought I need a younger person in there. So I wrote this little girl Vera in there, and she's become one of my favorite characters. Never expected to even have her in there. So um, when I'm writing, it's almost like I'm reading the story since I'm pantsing and I don't know what's coming. it's like I'm
Yeah,
writing what I'm reading what I'm writing, and that's the exciting part to me because it's like I can really, because there is no plan, I know that the Lord's helping me and I can see it actually moving forward. And that moving forward and then getting to the finish, that's exciting. That I think that's the most exciting part is to see it all come together.
I love that. And I know everyone is a different has a different style, a plotter and a pantser, but I think we should all of us should have a little bit of the pantser in us just to be open to that creativity that comes because sometimes those are the most exciting moments. What's a moment or a part of writing that you really don't like at all? Is there a part that you're just like, oh, I hate this part?
Well, it's interesting that you asked me that because probably a few months ago I would have said editing. Um, but I'm actually finding it's another way to flesh out the character and develop them more. And it's not as intimidating. Square trees really help me listen, by giving advice and then listening to the advice that others are given, I can kind of see how I attack when it comes to editing, and it's become easier.
Yeah,
It's still not my most favorite, but I don't dread it anymore. Um,
that's good. And is
Probably
that
the
because
thing
the
that I dread most
cohorts?
now is the marketing.
Yeah. Is that because the cohorts have kind of been an encouragement because you
It
have other
has.
ladies that are giving you feedback, other writers?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that really makes a difference when you're with like-minded people and you're
Yeah.
sharing your ideas. You don't feel so much like, oh, it's a critique as much as like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, now I'm going to do
Yeah.
this. It stirs that up. And marketing, I'm with you there. That's probably the area, if I had to say, was not my favorite, is you always having to promote, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Wow. So you did mention one of the things you're working on is a young adult or a tween book. Tell us a little bit about that and what age are you aiming that towards?
Um, I'm not sure which ages I'm aiming that towards. I started out with having a topic, wisdom, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a devotional or whether
Hmm.
I was going to do something else. And so I asked the Lord, I says, give me the first line. I just give me the first line. And he did. And I realized it was going to be a novel of some sort. So I'm just writing what he's giving me. I'm going to have it going with the beta readers soon, and I have some kids at the Christian school here in Kodiak that will be reading it. So it'll give me a better idea of what age group it's going to be for. In my head, it's more for the middle school. Um, but I've had people in my cohorts telling me that it could be for younger, and I do have one kid that's a younger reader. He's a an advanced reader that's going to read it and see what he thinks. Um, and personally, I like reading that age group, the young adult,
Yeah,
juvenile, good books. So I'd say it's for anybody. But
that's awesome.
marketing wise, it'll probably be for junior high. Um, and it's an allegory. It's the king. The
Ah,
king has a son. Then they're at the castle, and then there's the helper, and the helper helps the young boy who goes out with the message from the king and keeps blundering and just getting himself kind of digs himself a hole more than once into a hole more than once. So it's just that story of taking the message out and how the Holy Spirit can help you, but it's written in a way
mm.
that, unless you were told, you could probably figure it out or have a little bit of an idea, but unless you were told, and then it's like, oh yeah. And at the very end, there's a surprise, um, for the main character, um, which leads into the next book. So
Oh, I love it. The series. So that's so awesome. And I
yeah,
love what you said about the main character because so often we see these books, Kings and Queens or Space or whatever, and you have this hero, but it's always that the hero faces some challenge and is afraid or whatever. But you're saying he's blundering, he's making the mistakes. And I love that because we don't have a lot of characters that are like that are just kind of like just mucking things up a little bit. And you know what I mean? We have these characters that are not perfect but it's always somebody else on the outside that's coming against them. And I love that your character is flawed enough that we can all relate and say, "Oh my gosh, of course, I'm the one screwing all this up." So help me. And yes, there's help and hopefully an overcoming at some point, but I love it. When you were talking about that, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get this book. And I already know a lot about it because, we've been in the cohorts together. And that's another thing, you've come all the way from one of our challenges through all the different things at Square Tree in the cohorts. And now it's like, I'm so excited. And but fast on the heels of this book is Buoy's next book coming out pretty quickly as
Yes.
well. So if you're getting this book, guys, and if you want it, it's on Amazon. Buoy's Adventures, Buoy Adrift at Sea. Book number 2 is going to come out quickly. You got to get these books, and they make great books for libraries, for schools, for churches. I mean, for your grandkids, kids. It's an exciting book, and we want to give away a book. Well, Linda wants to give away a book. So, Linda, what would you like our viewers to type in the chat so that you can give them a free book?
Well, since I'm from Alaska, I would love to know if you've been here, and if you haven't, where you would like to, what part of Alaska? Alaska's huge. What would you like to visit if you came? If you drop that in the chat, I will be able to know that you've been here, get your name, and I'll do a drawing. I will ask, let you know that you've been a winner and need you to private message me with your address so I can send you a book.
Oh, that's awesome. So if you've been in Alaska, now I'm not going to cheat because I've been in Alaska, so I could type Fairbanks or something else there. My niece used to live in Alaska near Anchorage, so I'll let all you guys win the book. But you could type a place you've been, or if you've ever wanted to go to Alaska. There's so many wonderful places in Alaska. It's just a beautiful, beautiful state. Yeah, and if you haven't been there, Linda is planning a writer's retreat coming up this year in 2026. So I'm just going to put that out there because she wrote her book in a very quiet moment where she was kind of forced to stay inside. You want to fly to beautiful Alaska and be kind of forced to get that book out? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned to Linda as she posts more about that. So that's going to be an awesome, awesome retreat. Can't wait to see that happening. All right, one last question while they're typing that in the chat of Alaska or where they'd like to go in Alaska. If you're not writing books, Linda, what are some things that occupy your time, your
And I
passion?
like to read. Yeah, I often think that readers are writers and writers are readers kind of a thing. But if I have a good book, it's hard to put down. I just consumed one the other day in 24 hours. It was excellent. So that was a lot of fun. In the summertime, I'm often outside. I do a lot of gardening, cooking. I like to cook. Of course, that goes in waves. You cook a lot, and then for a while you don't want to cook so much, and then you cook a lot again. And I like to sew and craft. So yeah, just like to keep myself busy.
That's awesome. And sometimes you really do because the winters there might require you to just spend a lot of time indoors. So you have to find some great hobbies. Those are great hobbies. Irene says, Kodiak Island, that's where I'd like to go. You could visit
Yay!
Linda while you're there. Michelle Simon says, I have not been to Alaska, but would love to see the icebergs go to the
Yeah.
coast. So yeah, awesome. Jackie Palazzolo would love to visit and see the Northern Lights. So there's only three.
Don't
Come
come to
on.
Kodiak. We have overcast weather most of the time. You'll want to go to
Okay,
Fairbanks for that. But yeah,
go to
they're
Fairbanks for that.
beautiful. I've not seen them dance like they do in Fairbanks. I would actually like to go to Fairbanks to see them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So come on, we still need some more of you guys to just chime in. We got 3 so far. So if you'd like to visit Alaska or been there, type it in the chat. Well, Linda, this has just been so fun. And I hope everyone who's watching this or sees the repeat, you go to Amazon. We have the link on our Facebook page that you can order Buoy's Adventures, Buoy Adrift at Sea. It's a wonderful book. It's illustrated by one of our wonderful illustrators, Anissa Carlos. Beautiful book. So encouraging. I can't wait to get my copy. And it's also going to be, I think you told me Barnes and Noble's
Yes.
yes. So you're really getting out there from being on a little island of Kodiak. You're going coast to coast here, everywhere.
It's available through Barnes and Noble. Hopefully, maybe they'll carry it, but I know you can get it on their online store.
Awesome. All right. Okay, well, we're gonna let everyone go, and thank you so much, Linda, for spending time with me. And hopefully, on the next book, we'll meet same bat time, same bat channel here, and chit
That
chat
would
about the
be
next one.
great.
And that there'll be many, many more books to come. So
And
thanks
thank you
so
very
much.
much.
All right, guys, take care. Bye bye.
Bye.